Hey, what is going on, guys? This is SMEB Reviews. No, this is not Single Sunday. This is a track review because all the singles this week, well, there was only 3, so I didn't feel it worthy of a whole video. So instead, I'm just going to dive into one of the tracks that came out because I really wanted to get time to really discuss this track and explore every element of it, not just give a brief overview of it. That track is Fool by Fitz And The Tantrums. Now, if any of you guys know me, you know that Fitz And The Tantrums is one of my favorite bands. They're actually really what got me into current music. I was really into older classic rock until I got into this band along with Bleachers, and both of those bands really helped me expand my taste into more current music, along with other things. And so I was really excited to hear that they were coming out with this new track. I was hoping that it would be good. I know a lot of people had not been a fan of their previous album because a lot of people felt that it was very pop-centric. That's the album that Handclap, which I'm sure most of you guys have heard, had come off of. So I was really... I was tentative because I know I've heard both Noel and Fitz, both the lead singers, well, the lead singer and the backing vocalist, had said that they really enjoy current music and top 40 music along with their other influences being like older classic rock, that kind of thing. So I was kind of worried because right now what's in the top 40 is very hip-hop centric stuff, so I didn't really know where this track was going to go. I felt like it could just go extremely hip-hop and just poppy, and I don't have a problem with the pop element. I personally really like their self-titled album that came out last year, and it was very pop-centric, so I think that it's not necessarily bad, the pop, I just was worried about what direction they might take with it. And this song does have those hip-hop elements. It's not overpowering, and as you guys know, I'm not a big fan of hip-hop, but I actually think that there are some circumstances where it can work, or at least I can respect the attempt that it was trying to make. And this song really properly blends, in my opinion at least, pop elements along with those hip-hop elements. And that's what makes this track really interesting to me. There's a lot of different layers to it. So let's talk about the positives of this song. So during the chorus and pre-chorus, and kind of a bridge, it's not really a bridge, it's like a line or two, it's just an altered version of the chorus. It takes a very direct influence from like 60s, 70s R&B and soul, and I really enjoy that personally. I think that using those elements, it makes it sound a lot like their first album, Picking Up the Pieces, which used a lot of that older sound, like Motown sounds, to really form a really well cohesive piece that I hope to review all 3 of their albums. But that album, it really sounds a lot like the chorus. I could see the chorus of this song fitting in very nicely with that album, and I love that album. So that just shows you I really enjoy the choruses especially, and the pre-chorus. I think that they really mix pop, and pop is where they really focused on their third album, along with their 60s influences from their first album. Just meshing their careers better, which a lot of people felt like they really strayed from their style as they progressed through album, but I think that this is kind of a callback to their first album, while still sticking with the style that they want to explore, being their most recent album, their self-titled, as well as their first album, Picking Up the Pieces. That blend of the two sounds really just shows that they are self-conscious of the change that they are making, at least in my opinion. It makes me think that they know that they're making a change, and they're trying to not isolate fans while still being able to expand and grow and do what they want as artists, which I power to them. Maybe it's not the direction that everyone likes, but I think that if you want to expand your style, it's okay to do that, as long as there's not a real specific reason, like you did specifically take money in order to expand your style to do something more commercial. If that was a circumstance, then I'd understand, but I don't feel like they've sold out or anything along those lines. I think they're very self-conscious of the fact that they've moved away from their style, but they want to keep their fans that were really with them with their first and even their second album. They want to keep those fans, and that really shows that they're aware of themselves, and that just helps this song, in my opinion. I think that it makes it a more cohesive track. This song is also the epitome of catchy. They are really good at writing hooks, in my opinion. Their hooks are one of their strongest elements, along with just their instrumentals. They actually have very talented instrumentalists in the band, and their hooks are very catchy. This song, like I said, no exception. The chorus is something that you just want to belt, and it's extremely fun. It's just a very fun, enjoyable sound to listen to. And honestly, even through the verses, while they don't have as much of the hook as the choruses do, it's still a very fun and catchy sound. Let's talk about the specific members that are really good in this track. Fitz, the lead singer, John Wicks, the drummer, and Jeremy, the keyboardist. All three of these really stand out, at least in my opinion. John, the drummer, he is able to really create punctual beats, and honestly, I feel he's a very underrated drummer. While he has been a studio musician, so you think he has a more generic sound, but he is a very talented drummer in my opinion, and I actually really enjoy his drumming style. In this song, they're very punctual and distorted because of production, and I really enjoy that. And even during the verses, when it's more of an electronic drum set and beats rather than a actual stick and drum set, he still is able to really shine on this track. I think that his drumming is really good, even though it doesn't flourish like some of their songs. The keyboards from Jeremy sound really good. They are again, distorted. The production style tends to distort a lot of the sounds, not as in make them strange sounding, as in just putting a layer of fuzz over them. But the pianos really sound good. They are really earwormy, just the pianos alone, and they just are really bright and fun sounding, which really contributes to the track in that they were hoping that it would be like a summer hit. And I think that warm, bright, fun sound is what you need for a summer hit, and it's upbeat, and the pianos really help push that upbeat, fun sound along. Lastly is Fitz, the lead singer. He, again, has distorted vocals, but they're not bad sounding. He's tended to lean towards adding some effects on his voice, and that's probably due to age. He's currently 46. He's getting, not old, but he's aging, so his voice is showing some wear and tear, and he uses these effects effectively, I think. In most of their songs, he does have some kind of effect, and you can hear them, but they don't sound like the whole song has been pitch shifted and just used to constrain his voice. He still really flourishes and can belt a song out. He just sometimes needs a little help, and I think that that's why they have these effects on his voice. There's a couple points where I could see where they could get a little annoying, but honestly, I'm really a fan of those vocals, and I think he sounds really good on this track. So now I talked about the ones that really shined on this track. What about the band members that didn't? And this is where my first real problem arises with this song, is that some of the band members just don't either have a real part or just don't get any chance to shine. And that's so unfortunate because all these band members are very, very good at what they do, and it just stinks that they weren't able to shine. Now, some certain instruments don't always shine in every single one of their songs. It's just, I really enjoy whenever they're able to bring the whole band to play their instrument, and that's some of the best songs in my opinion, whenever all of them are able to do what they want and they just soar. So let's get into the specific members I'm talking about. Firstly is the background vocalist, Noelle Skaggs. I wouldn't really even call her a background vocalist. She's more of a harmonizing vocalist, but she's definitely not the lead vocalist. And she sometimes will play some percussion like tambourine, that kind of thing. She doesn't get many chances to either just belt something out or get any chance to really harmonize that well. She often takes a back seat to Fitz's singing, especially in this song. There are other songs where that does happen, and I know that they can't always work in harmonies every single song that will necessarily sound good, but I feel like she really could have done something in this song, and she just unfortunately didn't get a chance to. She really utilizes like Motown influences in her voice, and I think she's a very talented singer, so the lack of her really shining in this song is really unfortunate. Lastly is Joseph Carnes and James King. I'm grouping them together because both of them are very talented. Joseph is the bass player and James is the saxophone player. And there's no saxophone in this track, and really, besides some electronic bass sounds, there's no like bass guitar, which is what Joseph plays. And I understand that not every song they want to work in every single band member. I mean, how many songs can you really write that effectively are going to use saxophone. I'd much rather it be effective than just thrown in here randomly. But in this song, I really could see where both of these instruments could be doing something, but they either opt out of Joseph's bass in exchange for just an electronic bass, or just don't even utilize James at all. And that's really unfortunate to me. Both of these really should have been in this track. It's not, I'm sure they're doing something in production, but when they were recording it, I'm sure they were somewhere, but just the fact that they didn't get to really play their instruments is really unfortunate, and I hate that. So that's just another small thing that really bugs me about this track, just the fact that those three members don't really have their chance in this song. And one more thing, the production on this track is really strange. It really makes me feel conflicted, because during the chorus and pre-chorus, I really like the production. It gives it a fuzzy sound, and it really just, I think the production really pulls this track together, but then we come to the verses. And I know I said that they were hip-hop, so it makes it seem like I wouldn't like this track just because of the hip-hop. It's not really the hip-hop elements I don't like. It's the fact that the bass is so high on this song. The electronic bass really is too loud and overpowering in my opinion, and it's still fun and it's enjoyable, but when I have headphones in, it's not enjoyable to hear the bass over any other instrument in my opinion. That's something that I don't really care for in music, and so it really stinks that the production is so mixed, because I do really like it in some places, and then in the verses it just seems to slack, and that's one of my biggest complaints even. The bass is too loud, and the fact that they could have just turned that down and this track would honestly be even better really makes me so upset, because I'd probably love this track 10 times more if it wasn't just for that one thing. The members obviously are important to me, but just that bass really does affect the song so much in my opinion, and that's what makes it so unfortunate. The very last thing that I want to touch on is the fact that some of these lyrics are actually pretty intelligent and clever lyrics in my opinion. Yes, some of them are a little cringeworthy, but really, I feel like for the most part, the lyrics are very, I don't know how, it's just clever. They're very intelligent, clever lyrics, and that's something that, while I love Fitz and the Tantrums, I never am going to say them if you're wanting a very deep or emotional band. They have their songs. Fool's Gold, a track off their second album, has very good lyrics in my opinion, and a couple from their first, just random songs here and there, but I would never recommend them as a deep lyrical band. That's not where they shine. But this song, while again, it's not extremely deep, I think it's got some clever, interesting lyrics, and that just makes me like this song even more. The fact that they were able to really give this song a little more depth with those lyrics really do help this track along. So overall, it's a pretty good track. I honestly do like it. It's just the production and the lack of the three band members that really hold this song back for me. It's not that it's an awful song by any means. It's definitely on the upper end of my spectrum, but it's not their best track by any means. I don't know if this means a future album. If it does, I'll be very interested to see if they continue to take a style like this, because if so, this could be a really interesting album, fusing their first album with a lot of 60s influences with their very pop-oriented album, their third album. So it could be very interesting trying to hear the whole album fuse something like that, and I'm excited for that in general. It's just a couple things held this singular track back, but overall, I still do like it. So I have to give this track, unfortunately, a 3.5 out of 5. It's not my favorite song of theirs. I definitely do think that they have a lot better material, and if you're interested in them or heard this song on the radio at some point and want to explore them, I do recommend them. I really do enjoy this band. Like, they are one of my top 5 favorite bands, but this singular song just didn't really have it all for me, and honestly, if they had been able to lower the bass in production, this song would have been a 4 for sure. There's no way it couldn't have been. It's just the bass really bothers me. It really does, and that keeps me from liking this song more. So yeah, a 3.5 out of 5. Thank you guys so much for watching. It really means a lot. Sorry there was no single Sunday. I'm going to actually put the only tracks I cared anything about. There were 3 tracks, this one included, that I wanted to listen to, so I'm going to actually put my rating for those 2, the 2 that are left, in the description of this video, just if you were curious about the 2 songs. It will be Cage the Elephant and Fall Out Boy's new song, so if you're interested, you can just look at the description. But that's about all. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.